me tell you how I got my seller over $40,000 over asking price. A while back, I had a family that I work with. They were selling their family's home. Um, you know, it was time. They had lost a family member, living with memories, and just needing a change of scenery, downsizing. Not everybody was home anymore. So it was just that time. It's the natural progression of life. Like I always say, I always take care of my clients as families. We were talking about and strategizing over pricing, over what to fix, what not to fix. At the end of the day, they had spoken to others that were giving them all these different plans that were absolutely horrendous, that did not benefit them in any way, shape, or form. And when they talked to me, I mean, I understand where other people might have been coming from, but let's talk reality. Let's talk about your current situation. Let's talk about your finances. Let's talk about, you know, how soon do you want to be out of here? How much do you have to invest in these amazing renovations that people are talking about? What's the return on investment on those rep repairs, on those, not even repairs, I would say on those upgrades? Let's do an analysis. Let's not just say things to say things. Let's analyze your particular situation. We went through the numbers and we went through what their goals were. We went through pretty much every aspect of that we normally do with prospective clients. At the end of the day, we came up with the game plan, which is, all right, this is the long list that they gave you. Yeah, let's chop over 90% of that list. Let's go ahead and price it here instead of up here where they were talking about. I was confident that correctly pricing the property from the beginning, which is recommended, but strategically in this position, in this particular sale, we priced it competitively, just a little below market value, and also we did have a lot of stuff that needed to be done. After all is said and done, you had different buyers, and people did try to negotiate, but other people saw the tremendous value that this property was going to have. Now, just to put it into context, it was very close to the subway, which is one of those things where if it's a multifamily near a subway, that's an extra selling point. And on top of that, inventory tight. There was just a lot of circumstances. You have to really look at the entire picture to help guide prospective client or client when it comes to everything. Their particular situation, the market we're in, the market we might be heading into, kind of be flexible and adaptable. Also have a real game plan in place. When we kept talking, at the end of the day, oddly enough, we were able to secure the right buyer. It actually went pretty quick. I want to say it was within 45 days. We found the right buyer. We negotiated to correctly and strategically. We were able to get our seller $40,000. It was $48,000 over ask, and beating the sales that were happening at the time, because everybody was reaching for the moon and the stars. But there's a common mistake that I see with people, is that they price a home based on what is actively being sold in their neighborhood versus what's sold in their neighborhood. Meaning they look at this house across the street and they're like, well, my neighbor's, it says online that it's $1 million. I listed it for $1 million. It's been on the market for 160 days. It's still there. But based on what's sold, your home should have sold around 920. If you're pricing it so high that buyers don't come looking at your property, then you don't sell. If you actually are competitively priced, which buyers and consumers, they're very well armed now with knowledge and with numbers. Back maybe 25 years ago or so, I guess, before I was in the business, they wouldn't know what the neighbors sold for. Now that's public record, and they can pull that up. You're not being fooled by anything. I'm sure that sellers now are looking around. The information's there. The moral of the story is, by listing it competitively, by getting the right advice, by them listening to it, to their credit, we were able to secure that much more for them, instead of them listing it for a while, having it really high, nobody coming by, the stress, the monthly carrying costs of the property, the chances of any more damage or things happening. We mitigated all that by pricing it correctly. What's funny is that the other house that was a neighbor at the time, that ended up not selling. When you put a house for that much more in an area that it just doesn't fit the mold, it doesn't fit, what the numbers say, that's the risk that happens. That was just a story that came to mind because I drove past it the other day and wanted to share that one because I always like those extra wins for my clients. It's just perks of the job.